Biden says he's convinced that Putin has made up his mind to invade Ukraine. Putin says that he does not want war with Ukraine. Who do you believe? What does it mean for your investments? Hi, I'm David Wu, a former Wall Street global macro strategist. I'm here to share my market insights from 20 years on Wall Street to help you make better investment decisions. Welcome to part one of Money Game, where I make predictions about how markets will respond to the big stories shaping the world today. Markets are intensely preoccupied by the risk of a Russian invasion of Ukraine. What's different about Ukraine in 2022 that so many more people are concerned and interested? Ukraine was a regional issue back in 2014, but today it is a flashpoint in the global struggle for hegemony. It's no longer a secret that we're in the middle of a new Cold War, with the US and its allies pitted against China and Russia. Wall Street cares about Ukraine in as much as her fate may reveal how far the West and China and Russia are prepared to go in the new Cold War. Today I want to focus on information warfare. Information warfare has a long, even ancient history. More than 2,000 years ago, the Chinese military writer Scholz, in his influential treatise Art of War, wrote, "All warfare is based on deception." Proverbs 24 of the Old Testament says, "In cunning and trickery you will make war." Whether it's a myth or a fact, the story of the Trojan horse says a lot about how the ancient Greeks thought about deception in war. This is the definition used by the US Air Force. Information warfare is any action to deny, exploit, corrupt, or destroy the enemy's information and functions. It is only natural that adversaries of the new Cold War are using propaganda, disinformation campaigns, and cyber attacks to gain strategic and tactical advantages. Information warfare, much of which has to do with disinformation, makes it very difficult to form fact-based investment theses. The Ukraine crisis is a great example of what I mean. On February 16, Putin confirmed partial withdrawal of troops. Next day, Biden tells us that every indication suggests that Russians are prepared to go into Ukraine. Who should you believe? If you listen to Putin, you want to sell oil and buy stocks. If you listen to Biden, you want to buy oil and sell stocks. It is not a coincidence that information warfare is often deployed by countries against better equipped, better trained, better funded opponents. Maskirovka, which translates as something mask, is a Russian military doctrine that can be traced back to the Battle of Kulikovo some 900 years ago when 50,000 Russians defeated 150,000 Mongol warriors. Today, Russia's GDP is smaller than that of Italy's, only 7% that of the US. This means that Vladimir Putin has to rely on deception to retain Russia's influence on the global stage. Russia's invasion of Ukraine in 2014 revealed Putin as a student of Maskirovka. He sent in troops with no identifying patches or unit insignia to establish checkpoints and secure key terrain in Ukraine. This lack of identification allowed Putin to deny any association with those forces that Putin insisted were local volunteers. By denying his involvement in the occupation of Ukraine during the early stages of the conflict, Putin was viewed as an interested party by the international community as opposed to a belligerent one. The successful use of information warfare allowed Putin to occupy eastern Ukraine and annex Crimea without a large-scale response from the West. I think it's safe to assume that Washington is determined to not allow Putin to play the US for a fool again. I wonder if Biden's repeated predictions that Russia will soon attack Ukraine is not a deliberate strategy. On January 19th, Biden said, "My guess is that he will move in. He has to do something." On February 11th, Biden warned US allies that Russia could attack Ukraine on February 16th. On February 17th, Biden said, "My sense that it will happen in the next several days." On February 19th, Biden said, "I'm convinced that he has made up his mind to attack Ukraine." As much as Biden's pronouncement of an imminent Russian attack are starting to sound like a broken record, they have strategy written all over them. By treating a Russian invasion as a given, Biden may be trying to limit Putin's scope of deniability and maneuverability. This strategy may also allow Biden to score points with the American public. If Putin attacks, Biden can say, "I told you so." If Putin does not attack, Biden can say, "It is because of the threat of US sanctions." This strategy also has the benefit of making any backdoor negotiation between US allies in Europe and Russia so much more difficult. If my hypothesis is correct, how will Putin react? Does it make a Russian invasion more likely or less likely? I would say it makes an invasion less likely simply because it may help convince Putin that he has little to gain, at least vis-a-vis the US, by invading. This should increase Putin's incentive to make a deal with Germany and France, one that will allow him to save face and give him a ladder to climb down from. In this respect, Chancellor Olaf Scholz's trip to Ukraine and Russia last week makes some important progress. Scholz managed to get Putin to say publicly that Russia will continue to ship gas through Ukraine beyond 2024. Pulling back some troops also has the advantage of embarrassing Biden, who could be made to look like the boy who cries wolf. This is my prediction. We will soon see some verifiable proof that some Russian troops are being pulled back. The market will view this as a sign of de-escalation. If you've enjoyed this program, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit like. If you want to watch part 2 of this program, in which I discuss investment strategy, in particular how best to express my views on this and other macro themes through stocks, bonds, and currencies, come visit us at davidwuunbound.com. Thank you for listening.